Hey everyone, it's Jason. Today I'm going to play a game of Boss Monster. Just the upcoming new game from this company, from the Brothers Wise, the Brothers Wise games. Is they have Overlord, which is more of like a full tabletop tile game based around Boss Monster, as well as some new expansions. And I'll be getting a couple of the expansions for this game I didn't have, so I'll be doing reviews on them soon. So I thought, hey, because that's all coming up, and I should be doing that within the next week or so, I would actually just play a game, kind of throw a quick overview of what this is, and that would maybe just a refresher in case you didn't watch my... I'm hoping I posted videos for these. If I haven't, then I'm going to have to definitely go back and post videos. I'll have to check that. If I haven't done unboxing for all the old ones, I will do them. If not, here's a brief rundown how this game is played. So, the idea is you play as a boss of the game, and you are making a dungeon for the heroes to have to try and to stop the heroes from getting you. So, like, imagine you are like Bowser trying to stop Mario, but you are creating the dungeons or the worlds, essentially as he comes to them. And that's what the game is. So you have multiple players playing against each other. Because you're making your own dungeons each, but there are cards. What you're trying to do then is lure the various heroes there are to your dungeon, because you want them to come to your dungeon, because you need to defeat more heroes than the other monsters. So you're trying to become the boss monster, better than the other ones. So let's kind of go through some of the cards, explain, and then I'll jump into the game. So when you start off, each player gets a different boss monster. They're going to be these little symbols up in the corner. And one thing that's really fun about this game is they're all lots of the cards are based off of various video game or pop culture references. So you're going to notice a lot of these things, they look familiar. So here we have Nicholas, the Arcane Dragon. Over here we have Greg, the new boss. Various things on there to keep in mind when you're playing. When you pick the game, normally, like most games, you're picking your player cards. You're supposed to just randomly dole them out or give people two and let them choose. Pick your characters however you want. You have a favorite character you want to play as, play that character. But they're going to have two different symbols, two different things on here. They have an XP number and an icon, a class icon. The XP always determines whoever goes first in any terms of, like, beginning of the game, beginning of rounds, ties, things like that. And that's all that's supposed to be. So if I have these two monsters, the Nicholas would always take turns first because he's a more experienced boss. The symbol of the bottom corner has to deal with what type it represents, and that's what attracts the various heroes. So this is a mage, this is a fighter. So it's going to attract that type of character. And then what you do is you're going to basically, each person will have their monster down, and then they'll play rooms next to it. So, like, for example, we do this, and then there are various rooms. So then, like, here's a room card. So it's going to have the little monster symbol up in the corner. It says it's a monster room. This is Hydra's Mirror. And yeah, there's text on there. There's text in the boss monsters. The boss monsters text has to do if they get 5 rooms out, they gain a bonus ability, but only once per game. Here these actually come in and they do various stuff. So, but ignore the text for a moment. We're going to look at our two symbols down here. So we have another fighting symbol. So this will attract another fighter character. And it has a 1 damage icon. So this says how much damage it does to a hero. And it says, once per turn, when a hero survives this room gets a +1 counter. At the end of the turn, destroy this room, it has 4 or more counters. So this was going to simulate like a Hydra. So if they don't defeat it and they like cut off one Hydra head, it gains another one. So it gets more powerful every time it doesn't get defeated. Before I show off the other rooms, I'm going to show off what one of the heroes looks like. So this is the mage, an ordinary hero. There are also special heroes, like advanced heroes, that do more stuff. Up here, corner's going to show their type. So this is a mage type. So like when we were showing our boss monster, it matches that icon. So when the heroes, after the players play their dungeon cards. Each player's played a dungeon card, and you play them face down, and then everyone simultaneously flips them up. That's so that you can't see what symbols the other players are playing. Whoever has the most icons of that type is where the hero would go. And then down in the corners, they're going to have the health. This is how much damage they can take. And this is how many gems they're worth. This icon in the middle just shows how many players it's for. So if you're only playing 2 players, you use this card. If you're playing in your move menu, you have the 3 and 4 symbols. And that's just so you're not getting the harder level guys when there's less people playing. And then they have flavor text in the middle. It just kind of explains kind of who that character is. It doesn't do anything. So now if this hero mage was entering this dungeon, for example, has 4 hit points down here, the red, it's going to take 1 damage from this Hydra. So then it'll move to the next room and only have 3 health left and see if it can get to the boss. And that's how that works. So another type of card we have are trap cards, which still do damage just like the monsters. Some of them cards can have multiple symbols, which draw to. So what this means is now I have 2 total cleric symbols. And if I played it with like my Greg the New Boss, I'd have 2 total, 2 cleric, and 1 sword, 1 fighter. So if I'm trying to attract it, I'm going to have a better chance of attracting clerics to this room. And you just see what heroes are sitting out, so you can kind of maybe debate whether you want to play a room of a certain type or not. And we'll actually go through the gameplay. This will make a little bit more sense. But maybe you're like, this hero here has 4 hit points. I don't have enough to do 4 hit points, so I don't want to play a mage room because I don't want to attract them to my room because I can't beat them. Because then you take damage, and you can only take 5 points of damage, and then you lose the game. So it's playing cards to try and get them. If you know you can beat them, if you can't, maybe let your opponents take them. Or tie with them, and then the hero actually stays in the village, which is kind of interesting. Then they can pile up. So a trap room just has different effects. This is once per turn, you may discard a spell card to choose 1 random card from the discard pile and put it in your hand. This is a dark portal. The other types of cards, there are also dual cards. So this is a cleric and a thief card, and it's also a trap card, and it has its effect. And then finally, there are advanced rooms. So there's advanced trap rooms and advanced monster rooms. And they're going to be showing off. Trap rooms have the little cross and bones, and monsters have the little monster eat face. And then the advanced ones are gold. Just so if you're holding them in your hand, you can tell them a little bit quicker of what type you have. Advanced rooms are more powerful. As you can see, this does 4. It only does 1 cleric. The difference is to play an advanced room, you have to play it on top of another same type, so a trap onto a trap room, and it has to match the symbols. So I could play this Dragon Graveyard on either the Cursed Tomb or the Dark Portal, because they're both traps and they're both basic, or both clerics, sorry. Additionally, you can only have 5 rooms max. So, just saying we're a couple turns into the game, and I'm just going to look at, let's say, Greg here. We have these 2 rooms placed down. We have the Dark Portal and the light is really, I'm going to have to figure out how to show this because those are really glary from right here. But yeah, so I have, so like at the beginning of this turn, if I have my hero out, my hero would not go to this room because there's no wizard cards, mage cards. But it would go to the other one. But let's say if this was a fighter type, it would go here because I have 2 fighter symbols or 2 cleric symbols. But let's say I don't want to bring the hero to the fighter room because I can't beat him. I can always play my cursed trap over in my fighter room and build a new room. So that's one thing you can do. Now I only have 1 fighter symbol, but now I have 3 cleric symbols. And then I have next turn, if I want to, like I use this ability. That ability doesn't help me anymore, and I don't want to play another room. I can always play this on top of that. Now I have 4 and I still have my 3 cleric symbols. And that's how the game's played. So it's an ebb and flow of, do you play more rooms, so it's going to do damage, and you get more effects, or do you play something on top, maybe a replacing ability, or to boost up a card instead of 1, now it's 4, because now if this hero had to go through here, they would take 1 damage from this card, 4 from this card, and they would lose, and then you flip them over and you have a little soul gem here, which now I'd put this over in my pile to show that I got 1, and I need to collect 10 points. And epic heroes later on have 2, so if you get into the epic decks, they'll eventually pick that up. So that's essentially how the game is played. Is each player's turn, they get to pick a card, so you put 1 down, other player picks theirs, and you're like, alright, go, and then you can flip them, and then you see what heroes are going to come out and who goes where, how much damage they do, abilities. The only other part is there are also spell cards. And spell cards are going to have 1 of 3 symbols. They're either going to have a build phase, an attack phase, or both. So how the turn order goes is you're going to flip a hero over. So we're going to see this is our hero that's entering the town, getting ready to come attack the dungeons. You're going to draw a card. Each player enters the build phase. This is when they can put down their new room if they choose. If you choose not to put down a room, that is 100% up to you. Maybe like the rooms you have work, or again, like you don't want to draw a hero and the only cards you have are ones that would draw that hero. You can opt to not play anything. Or you can play stuff that have the build phase. Something like Surprise Gift. During this build phase, you may place an opponent in an opponent's dungeon instead of your own. Place it face down or face up. Place it face down over a face up room. An opponent may still play another room. So basically you can give them a gift. Which could like hurt them, help them, cover up one of their good rooms that they're saving for something. And then you can't use it again. And it gets discarded. Or you have stuff you can play during the attack phase. So after both players are flipped up, and then you figure out which hero is going to which dungeons. It's like, alright, this one's going here, that one's going there. Or if you have 5 or 6 heroes, if they've built up, or your 4 or 5 player games, because you always play 1 hero per player, you'll figure out where everyone goes. And then before they enter the dungeon, or while they're entering the dungeon, because they go room by room, then one player does theirs, and the next player does theirs, and it comes back around. You could have one player just sit there and do like all theirs in a row, if you wanted to. So you could play an attack card, which says, choose one face down hero in your scorekeeping area and remove them from the game. Deal damage equal to the hero's health, that hero's health to one in your dungeon. So basically, if I beat someone, I could sacrifice my point to take out a different one, which might be helpful if maybe I need to stop them from getting through because they're going to destroy a room or do something, or if it's an epic hero, it might be worth sacrificing like a 1-star or a 1-soul regular hero for a 2-star. And then some of them have the dual build, like this one says, oh yeah, swap the placement of 2 rooms in your dungeon, or if you have 2 or more rooms that have been destroyed this turn, choose and destroy any one room in any dungeon. So it gives you some different options. Spell cards are harder to come by. You start the game with potentially 2 of them, and then you have to play different room cards to get more. Every turn you're always going to draw a new room card. So you're going to go through the room cards very fast. But you're not going to go through the spells very fast unless you have something that lets you play more cards. And the only reason I said potentially is because when you first start off, you draw 5 room cards and 2 spell cards, but then each player has to discard 2 cards. So you don't know what you all have. So you have some options. So maybe you don't really want the spell cards, or you want different, or maybe one of your other cards doesn't work. And there's mulligan rules and things like that. And then the book actually does a really great job of explaining all this as well. And then there's little card sheets. But then where was the layout? I just wanted to show that off quick. It's probably the one page I skipped. So here's how they have the board layout set up. So you have your boss here, and your dungeon goes to your left, because that way the hero enters from this way and goes left to right, like in a typical video game. And then player 2 would play up here. So, while I'm playing my game, I'm going to have both of them facing the same direction, just one row on top of the other, just so everyone can try and read you a little bit better, because I'm going to be playing both parts, which is going to make for maybe a little unfair / biased game, just because I don't know what the other person's playing down. But there's not much I can do about that, so I just want to show off how the game works for everyone. Alright, so I already have the game set up, so I'm just ready to go ahead and pop it out and go. I'm just going to have to adjust my camera so that there's not as much glare. So I'll be with you guys in just... Alright, so I have the game set up. I have my 2 bosses. My hands are drawing. The first thing you do is after you draw your cards of 5 rooms, 2 spells, and you discard up to 2 cards, whichever. You discard 2 spells, 2 monsters, you have too many advanced cards, however you want to do it. Might also based on what your things are. If you have too many of one type, you might not want to have that. And then you get to play 1 card each. So we're going to look at our 2 monsters. So we have Dracula. It's going to be kind of hard to read the cards when they're way over here on the table, but I will hold them up while we're playing. So you have Dracula, Hypnotic Vampire. So he has 900 XP. He's a cleric type. Level up. So when I get 5 rooms out, he gets his level up ability. Says target opponent reveals his or her hand to you. Take 1 card and put it into your hand. And then we are playing off against Gorgana, Queen of the Medusae. 500, so she's not as nearly as experienced, but she does the thieves. And you see a little petrified people in the back. Choose a hero in town, immediately kill that hero, and place it face down in your scorekeeping area. So that's actually pretty powerful. So then what we've done, we've played our 2 cards. So the first thing we're going to do is reveal our 2 heroes. So, and now, just to note that right after all the cards that was showing up during the setup portion were all cards from other sets. All the cards from here should hopefully be from the base set. My sets were kind of mixed together, and I tried to sort them all out, so I hope I got them all. So I just wanted to do just the base set, because the later sets add some more different mechanics and stuff. And then there's like the Crash Landing set, which adds a new creature type, or a hero type. And, so that's a different thing. So here we have a mage, ordinary hero. This is Teague and the Magic Bubble. He has 4 health. So he's going to go first. And then we always keep the... I just slide that way over. We're not going to get to Epic Heroes for a while. So that'd be a mage card. So currently right now, he's not going to enter any dungeons because there are no mages out. And then now we have a thief. Joe Man Chim, Cut Purse. He also has 4 HP. So the thief here is going to go to Gorgana's dungeon as of right now. But before we do that, we get a build phase. So I'm just going to play as Gorgana first, be player 1. So I get to draw a room card. Ooh, first, actually before I played that, I should have revealed my 2 room cards before I played my heroes. So Gorgana is going to have the Dark Altar. Having these sleeved is nice, but it makes it really hard to show these off. Dark Altar, Trap Room. It has 1. It draws 2 clerics, which we still don't have any clerics out, so it wouldn't have made a difference. I can destroy this room to choose 1 card from the discard pile and add it to my hand. So there's an option there. And then Dracula has the Torture Chamber. And also a Trap Room with 1 damage, but it's a cleric and a thief. Destroy this room. Choose an opponent. That opponent discards a random room card. So, now, during my build phases, I can choose to do either one. And do those abilities. So I can either do that and take a card from the discard pile or not. So I'm going to draw my card for each one. And then now how we're sitting at is there's 2 cleric symbols and 2 thief symbols. So right now there's only the mage is not going to go anywhere. during the attack phase. The thief will not go anywhere as well because each player has one thief token. So what we're going to want to do is, if you want to get that guy into your room, you are going to place another thief card. But also keep in mind, though, that right now both of these guys have 4 HP, and neither player has enough to do damage. They only have 1 damage each. So unless they can play something with an additional 3 damage during their turn, or use a spell card, they're not going to be able to win. So I have a bunch of different options for Gorgana here. Because I want to be able to do 4 damage. So if I want to try and bring them over here, I have a couple different options. I have Neanderthal Cave, which is a monster room, which gives me a fighter, but it also has 3 damage. So I would do 4 damage total. I would be able to beat them. My other option is I could potentially upgrade a monster room eventually to get that, but I don't have a monster room. I only have a trap room. I could play my Spectre's Sanctum. When you build this room, choose an opponent. That opponent discards a spell at random. That only gives me 2, which should only be 3. Not enough to defeat him, but if I assume that the other player is not going to play anything either high enough, they might not be able to beat it, then I would be safe for a turn. Also, I could give one of my trap rooms +3 till the end of turn during my attack phase. So I have options to beat there. So what I'm going to do to start with, we're just going to play our Neanderthal Cave. But what you do is while you're playing, we play the space down. Don't let your opponent know what you're playing, because they don't know what you have. Dracula has Dizzy Gaga Hallway, which says if the next room in your dungeon is a trap, it has +2. So we currently have +1, and it's a trap. And this has +1, +2, +3, plus it's a thief. So it'd actually have 4 damage, and it would bring that thief into that room. So that's definitely a good move to do there. Alternatively, I could always drop this on here and upgrade my trap room, but I don't really need to do that right now. It doesn't help me. I could give one monster room +3, but I don't have a monster room. I can choose one room and deactivate it. No damage, treasure, or abilities. So I could actually deactivate my room, which would force that to go to the other player, but I don't know what they have. So that would be, if I thought, okay, they played something big enough they could stop it, or defeat that monster, that would be a great thing to do, because that way if they couldn't, they'd take the point of damage, but if they can, I just gave them a point. And I have Goblin Armory. Monster rooms adjacent have +1 damage, so this would be better to play around other monster rooms. But I think I'll play my hallway, because it gives my trap room an extra 2. Then comes the next phase. So every player's played them, and then we both reveal them simultaneously. So we have our Neanderthal Caves and then our Giziaga Hallway. Build spells. You don't want to use any build spells. I'm just double checking the rules, make sure I didn't miss anything. End of the build phase simultaneously with all space textures. It does say, in XP order, each player may place one random face down in a dungeon. So, technically the way it should have worked is Dracula should have got to play his card, then Gorgana. Because you're playing him face down, I don't really know why it matters per order. There might be something later on that comes that direction. It might just because someone maybe wants to play a card to stop them before or after. But I'd say as long as you're, all being fair with each other, it's fine. Alright, so now we're at what's called the bait phase. Each hero moves in the dungeon with the most treasure icons. If a particular treasure icon is tied, that hero stays in town. No spells or ability may interrupt this process. So at this point, it's just, we've revealed, and now we see where the heroes go, and you can't do anything to interrupt that. So we check for the mage, because they were the first one to enter. None of them have the books, so they all stay in there. Then we check for the thief. So Gorgana only has 1 on her card, where Dracula now has 2. So this guy is going to come down here, and he's going to enter Dracula's dungeon. And next is now in boss XP order. They contend with the heroes in their dungeon. Each hero enters alone. So if you have 3 or 4 heroes built up, it's not a cumulative like party score. Each one goes by himself, unless for some weird reason there's an ability. And then you just move them from each room, and it does damage. If a hero survives the room, it enters the next room. If it survives the entire dungeon, place it face up in your scorekeeping area to show that you took a point of damage. If you beat it, you place it face down. After the highest XP boss processes all heroes, the next one goes. And the adventure phase does not end until all players have had to act. And then we can look at the end of the turn in a minute. Alright, so now what's going to happen is the thief is going to start going through it. So now Gorgana has the option of looking to see if she has an attack spell. She does. She has an attack spell that will let her gain +3 to any trap room to the end of turn. But why would she play that to help out her opponent? So that doesn't help. And then I also Dracula has his 2 spells, once for the attack phase and once for the attack or build phase. But this only helps monster rooms, which we don't have any monster rooms. And this one deactivates a room, which there's no reason for me to deactivate my own rooms. So I have no reason to play spells this turn. So Mr. Johan Chim is going to start going through the dodging hallways. So he's going to go 4 damage, he'll move here, and that'll give him 3. So now he's down to 3 health. And he'd go to this room, which would knock him down to 2 health, but this other trap room also gives him an extra 2 here. So that is all 4 damage. So that's going to go there to show that I got a soul. That is round 1. That's how simple that is. And then now we refresh to start up for round 2. So, well, we double check our things. If any player has 10 soul icons, they win the game. Any player 5 wounds. And then you keep playing. And that's your rules right there. So now we start back up. Beginning of the turn, we reveal 2 more heroes. And we always keep the old hero. It doesn't matter, I guess, if we keep them in the back or front. Just always make sure that the oldest hero stays on one side. So if I have to pull like a middle hero, you're always sliding back, because that should be the first one that enters the dungeon. I think usually when I normally would play, I would always push them out to the front, so it's always the first one. But the rulebook states to keep it next to the deck, so that's what I'm going to do just for the sake of keeping that. So now we have a fighter. Fire Breath's Heroine of Arcadia. She's a 6 health, so that one's going to be a little bit harder to take out. And then, ooh, we have a special one. We have the Fool, who has a mystery icon. He has 2 health. The Fool is lured into the dungeon of the player with the fewest souls. In the case of a tie, he waits until it broke. So, now, judging by this, we can again look at each hero just to draw a card, or each boss monster just to draw a card. And we gotta determine what we want to do. So, we're sitting at, again, the mage there's no mages out. The fighter is currently going to go to Gorgana's dungeon, and the Fool is also going to go to Gorgana's dungeon. He can easily take out the Fool because he only has 2, so that's not an issue there. So it's basically a free win for Gorgana, and there's nothing Dracula can really do about it, unless he can somehow get rid of his soul card. Now the fighter's going to come, and it's going to do 6, and we only currently have 4. So Gorgana's going to want to probably try and do something to prevent that. But let's see what Dracula can do, because maybe Dracula wants to bring him into his. He has currently 4, so he would only need to play 2 more. So we have our other cards here. Goblin Armory. So it's going to get +1 to adjacent monsters. I have no adjacent monsters, so it only gives me +1, but it would draw her in. And then do I have any other fighters? I can give my monster card +3 though. So if I played that, let's go. We have our new card we drew was the All-Seeing Eye Advanced Trap Room. Once per turn, when the opponent plays a spell, you may discard the spell to cancel its effects. So that's kind of neat. It does have 3 damage, but the problem is it's an advanced and it has a mage. I have no mage cards to play it on, so I can't even play that one. I could play this when another dungeon enters your... When another room enters your dungeon... When another room in your dungeon is destroyed, you may draw 2 cards. So I could play this on top of my torture chamber, instead of having to discard that, and it actually makes it a 3, 4, 5. So I would... Because I'd get +2 from this, so I'd have 5, 6 there, which would be enough to take out the fighter, but I have no way of drawing them there. My only potential option if I want to try and draw that fighter would be to play this monster room for 1, and then hope to get to play this and boost it up during my turn, because that would give it 4, and I'd have 5, 6, 7, 8. So I would have enough. So that's what we're going to try, rather than hoping to get another monster rooms. I don't have another one in here to play with that. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. And again, this is always an attempt, because you don't know what the other players are going to do. Because I know I'm going to have 2 swords, so he's like, yep, unless the other player also plays 1 or more swords, that's coming to me. And I can beat it, unless they get rid of a card out of their hand or do something else. So, the new card Gorgana drew was the Golem Factory. Once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, draw a room card. This is definitely one that's nicer to have later in your dungeon for that reason. But we can also look at, hey, I already got the fighter card. I only need to do 6 damage. I'm already doing 3, 4, 5, 6. So like, that would be enough to take out that fighter. Plus, the Fool is going to die in that room and I'll get an extra monster card. So that's definitely the way to go. And then you also have, because the only other one I would have had would have been, the first time a hero enters this room, send it back to the previous room. So this would have been nice to put, like, earlier down and just not done anything for a turn, because then they would have had to go back and take, like, the extra 3 damage from this monster room. But that's what happens. I'm going to double check to make sure that wasn't in an advanced room. It was not. Alright. And this is where the game, again, gets interesting. So now we're to the bait phase. It's going to check for the mage. Anyone? Well, we got to reveal our rooms first. So we're going to both reveal our rooms, and we're going to be like, oh man, now we both got swords. Oh, great. And that's where we're like, oh, yeah. Like, I tried to get 2 because I didn't think you'd play another one. They're like, oh, I didn't think you'd try and play a sword when I already had one. And that's where the dynamic of the game makes it really interesting. So we check for the mage. Mage doesn't go anywhere. There's no books in there. We check for the fighter. It's going to go to the one with the most swords. Dracula has 2 with the Goblin Armory. Gorgana has 2 with the Golem Factory and the Nether Cave. So the fighter does not go anywhere either. The Fool is still going to go and try and enter Gorgana's dungeon. And then we enter the attack phase. And he's going to go through, take 2 damage in the Golem Factory. So we're going to get a soul token there. And it says, once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, get to draw a room card. So that gets Gorgana an additional room card. Alright. That's turn 2 for you. Alright, let's hop into turn 3. Let's see who our new 2 heroes are. Alright, so we got Cleric. We have a bunch of Cleric symbols out there. We have Deletorious, the Angel of Light, who has 8 health. Oh boy, these guys are ramping up quick. I did shuffle these. And then we have another Thief. Sir Digby Apple, Ace Detective. He has 8. So now we have some 8s and we have some 6s and 4s. So if anyone wants to get a quick, easy point, they're going to probably want to play a Mage Room. And they both know that currently, right now, they can take out that fighter. Although Gorgana can take it out naturally with hers because she does 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. whereas Dracula has to play a special magic card to be able to take it out. So they're each going to draw their room card, and then we'll see what Dracula can do. Now, as the way it stands right now, the mage is going to stay, the fighter is going to stay, the cleric is going to go to Dracula, because actually, nope, the cleric is also going to stay because both of them only have 2. But the thief will go to Dracula, so he's sitting up there, but he needs to do 8 damage to be able to take him out. So his option is to either, so if he can't pull off that 8 damage, he's probably going to want to cover up one of his 2 thief spots so that he doesn't draw that guy back in. So let's see what he can do. Well, he just drew a dragon hatchery. This room contains all 4 treasure types. So it doesn't do anything, but it lets you draw bait guys in quicker because it has all 4. So one upside of this is that if I played this, I would draw the mage, the fighter, the cleric, and the thief. I would draw all 4 of them, knowing that I can beat the mage, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We currently have 5. And if I actually place this monster would give an extra one to give me 6. So I could actually beat the mage. We could beat the fighter. We would not be able to beat the thief or the cleric, except we do have give 1 monster room plus 3 till the end of turn. So I'd be able to give one of my guys. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'd actually be able to beat every single guy if I did that. So that is probably my best option to try. The downside is going to be if something happens, or depending on what they play, they might draw one of the other guys, but the chances are they're not going to draw all 4 of them. Is that if they mess up one of my cards, I could take potentially 4 damage. But that's the risk we have to take, right? We're a boss. We have to be a boss about this. Alright. And then Gorgana drew the Haunted Library, which is a magic trap card. So at the beginning of your turn, you may draw a spell from the deck instead of the room deck. So that's actually a way to get more magic cards, which is definitely helpful. And those are attack phase ones, so that doesn't help me. So what we want to do is so if we play our magic card, we can get extra magic cards every turn with help, but we'll draw the mage, which we could take out. We know we need at least one of any. We're not going to be able to get the thief because they already have 2, so we have to play 2 thieves, and we don't have enough to do that. I only have a thief card in here, so there's no way I can get the thief. So I can look at trying to play one more cleric to get the cleric, or playing another warrior to get the warrior. The problem is my warrior card doesn't do me any good, because it has 0 attacks. That would not help me. I mean, I could draw the warrior and still beat the warrior. Let's see what else we want to do. So I could always play my mage card, which I could play this mage card 1 turn, and then at the beginning of my turn get a magic card. Then on my turn I could always draw the All-Seeing Eye for a 3. So it's not a bad combo. Plus I have more traps, and this works with my trap cards, and I only have the 1 in there right now. Let's see what else we have. We have an advanced monster room I can't use unless I play my other monster room. So I could play this one and try and draw that cleric, which gives me 2, but that would give me 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be enough to take out the cleric, which would give me 3 cleric. Except also when I build this, I can choose my opponent makes him discard a spell card. So my 2 options for Gorgana are play this. I can take, try and bring the cleric to me, and force my opponent to have to discard a spell card, which that could mess them up. Or I could start playing my magic cards and try and go for a 2-shot combo, getting me an additional 3. And I can for sure take out that mage without a problem. So that's kind of tricky on what I want to do, because you don't know what the other player has. You know they're getting the thief, So I for sure need to drag one of them. And it's probably better to get the bigger guy first, but all they need to play would be one cleric to stop me from grabbing that. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to play the Haunted Library so we can get a magic card. We're going to go for that route. Again, this is me trying to play against the other deck, knowing what the other deck just played. Makes this a little trickier. I'm trying to make the most logic of it, but that's all I can do. So now we're going to flip over our cards, and this is where player 2 is going to be like, the Gorgana player is going to be like, oh crap, because now they also got a book, so my book's invalid. But then they also got an extra sword, which gives me the 3 swords. They got an extra cleric, which gives me the 3 cleric. And they got the extra thing. But then they also stop and look. They're like, they drew all of them. But then they're like, but they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 6 attack power. They're like, they can't beat that cleric and thief. So they're like, they must have something up their hand. Which unfortunately, I have nothing I can do to stop that. You know, that's what happens. Alright, so then the heroes are going to start to get drawn. So we're going to start with the mage. The mage is going to stay where he's at, because there's only one spell book in each. The fighter's going to go to one with the most swords. So the fighter's going to come here and attack Dracula. Then the cleric's going to go to the one with the most cleric symbols, the crosses. So you're going to go there. And the thief is going to go on the most thief, and Dracula has 3 of those. Alright. And this mage is just hanging out in town. He's like, I don't really want to fight you guys. Alright, so then we start the fight phase. Obviously, since Gorgana has no monsters, they wouldn't participate, or no heroes, they wouldn't participate anyhow. But also because Dracula has the XP, they're going to go first. So, now what he needs to do is, because he can stop the 6 right away, because they're going to enter, the fighter's going to enter this room, and they're going to take 1 damage, because it gives +1 to monster rooms for the Goblin Armory. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because it gets +2 from the trap. So he beat that one. Now, the cleric's going to come up. So before the cleric goes, he's going to play a giant size, which gives any monster room +3 till the end of turn. So he's going to boost up this dragon hatchery. So now when the cleric goes to enter, and this is where the game, I have to say one part where it becomes a little bit less fun, is once you have your dungeons kind of built up sometimes, then it's not like, ooh, what do I have to do? It's just, no, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know it's done. So you know he beat him, you know this guy's 8, you don't even have to count it, you just know he beats him. And that's the only part that gets a little unfun in the game, is just once, like, if you know your dungeon's high enough, like, oh, I have enough damage to do 6, as soon as a guy with anything under 6s, you pretty much just move forward. You just ask the other players if they have anything they can do. If they're like, nope, then you just move forward. I mean, it's not, there's no way to really get around that. Alright, so now we're going to start this again. Beginning of the turn, we're going to reveal some more heroes. So we have another cleric who only has 4, and this is Nick the Masher. This is what I mean, now they're down to 4. I just took out level 8 guys. Granted, I had an ability, but level 4s aren't going to have any problem. Then we have a level 8 mage, Dartion the Elf Pyromancer. So now whoever draws the magic is apt to take on both of them. And this is another thing to keep in mind when they're doing this. Although Dracula is able to take out 8 that time, naturally right now he has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he only has 7 to take out any character. Because he only had enough to take out the 8s because he had the bigger cards. Whereas Gorgana has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 naturally. So she can already take out the mage anyhow. We just need to draw some. So she does have an ability, so at the beginning of her turn, and may draw a spell card instead of a room card. So she's going to draw a room card. We're going to give it, or a spell card, give a room card to Dracula. So let's start with Dracula, see what he can do. So we drew the Crushinator. Destroy another room in your dungeon until the end of your turn. Until the end of your turn, rooms have +2. So it's like a last minute ditch effort. Throw it in there, and you can boost up some stuff. So the only one I could play this on, because it's an advanced trap, is I would have to play over my hallway, which is permanently giving my torture chamber +2. Actually, I could play it over my torture chamber, which isn't a bad thing either, because I go from 1 to +2. What else do we have? So I don't have, all I have are advanced rooms and freeze. So I have to play something on top of something. So I could play my All-Seeing Eye on top of my Dragon Hatchery. No, I can't, because that's a monster card. So I can't even play that one. So I can play one of my 2 trap dungeons. But what I could potentially do is combine all these at some point. Because I could use Recycling Center, so when another room of your dungeon is destroyed, draw two room cards. So I could play Crushinator down, like play Recycling Center here, Crushinator there, then later destroy one of my rooms to gain +2, but then I also get to draw 2 extra rooms for it. So it's a nice long-running combo. Now, what's going to happen, though, is currently right now, Dracula is getting that Cleric. If I cover up the Torture Chamber, I don't have enough points to take the Cleric anymore, because I only have 2. No one's getting the Mages right now, and I have no way of getting the Mages. So what I can do, though, but I'm going to do it anyhow, and I got a head start, so we're going to do this, we're going to advance that to the Cycling Center, because that gives me 3 + 2, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm at 9. And if I get another basic room, I can play it there and I can use my ability. And I gotta take one of my opponent's cards, which will be really helpful. Now, I could also do a freeze effect and deactivate one room in the dungeon. And I could deactivate, like, their Haunted Library. So that way I can get it. But I may as well wait. Now, either I can do it during the build phase, which prevents them from using their abilities. Also, it stops them from being able to bait something. Or I could use it during their attack phase, let them draw a bigger card, towards them, and then freeze them and let them take the damage. Because right now, if I shut off their 3 here, they would have 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. So they can still take out both of the 4s. So I think I'm going to save that and hope for something like that to happen. Alright, and then what did Gorgana get? She drew the Cobalt Strike. No rooms can be built this turn. Any face-down room is returned to its owner's hand. So, technically, I guess I should have actually played this Recycling Center. I should have played this face down. So I am showing my opponent I am building onto this, but they don't know what I'm building. Plus, because it's a Cleric and a Thief card, they don't know if I'm going towards more points on the Cleric, or like boost up the Cleric ability, or if I'm just boosting up my Thief ability. So I'm going to save that for now. I mean, I could do that to disrupt stuff. But that doesn't help me get the Mage anyhow. And I don't have a way of playing another Mage card. So I could try and play something to grab the Spectre. Or the Cleric, which wouldn't actually be a bad idea. I mean, I could definitely play my All-Seeing Room to gain another one there. But I think what I want to do... Ooh, I don't even need to take out that Cleric. So this is where I'm going to... Well, I have to play another card. So... this is what we're going to do. Player 2 is going to be really mean. So we're going to play the Spectre Sanctum. We build this room, choose an opponent. That opponent discards a random spell card. So we're going to play this. This is our 5th room. Now we're going to reveal rooms. This is going to be like Boom, I got a recycling center. And this one's going to be like, boom, I have that. Now the other player has to discard a random spell card. Since they only have one, they lose freeze. Which is really going to hurt what Dracula can do. Draculord can do. Also, since I have 5, I can use Gorgana's ability. Choose a hero in town, immediately kill that hero, and place it face down in your scorekeeping. So I'm going to immediately take out this cleric. Actually, because I know yeah, I'm not worried about that. I can handle the other guy. We'll take out the cleric, even though I would have... Well, I would have gained the cleric this turn, so that would have been a waste of my turn. So I'm going to take out this mage. Now, it would have been nicer to maybe try and hold off to play that versus an epic hero. And maybe that's a better strategy. But I was also down 2 to 4 cards. So, that is that. I did it. Let's see what happens. Alright, then we do the bait step. So, the mage is going to stay where it's at. That guy does not want to play this game with us. But now, because we covered up this cleric symbol, we have 3 clerics down here. So the cleric symbol is going to move here. It's going to enter, it's going to do 4 damage. It's going to do 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So it's going to die in my goal. In fact, this is once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, I get to draw a card. A room card. So, Gorgana has the hand advantage because I have so many different cards. Versus Draculord having 2. But that's kind of how the game's going to be played. But having a bunch of cards in my hand does not necessarily help me at all. Because, you know, I can only play 1 card every turn anyhow. Oh, to see if there's anything about a hand limit. I don't think there is. So just curious, just looking at the Boss Monster 2, which is the second base game, actually says draw 5 cards and 2 room spells, and it doesn't mention anything about discarding down extra cards. So that's interesting. Alright. But I'm not going to worry about that. I played with the original Boss Monster set. The second one might change that, maybe because the guys are a little bit harder, more difficulty. I'm not sure. Alright, so now we are back to beginning of the turn. We're going to draw some more characters. We have a level 6 cleric, or a 6 health cleric, Acacia, the Warrior of Light. And we have a fighter, Johnny of the Evening Watch, who's an 8. So, right now, the fighter's mage is going to stay where it's at. Cleric is going to come to Gorgana. Fighter is going to stay where it's at. So, each player gets to do something. Gorgana is going to draw a spell. And Dracula is going to draw a monster. Dracula definitely needs to play some more cards. So we do have another, we have our all-seeing room we can't use, we have an advanced trap, and then we have another advanced monster. He's just drawing really bad. Once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, he may heal 1 wound. Flip over a face-up hero, adding its soul to your total. So that's actually super helpful for him. Because if he does take damage. But I have to cover up a cleric room, and the only cleric room I can cover up is my dragon one. Actually right now he has 3 fighters, so he's going to gain that fighter. But can you do enough room? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can do 8, but if I do that, if I play this card on top of that, I won't gain that. I will gain the cleric though. And I won't, because there'll still be 2 cleric. So basically, it's my best option to just not do anything. and gain that fighter. Otherwise, I could do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Otherwise, I could up my Gazadian hallway to the Crushinator, which I don't get the +2 bonus, but I gain 1 naturally, so I'm only down 1 point. But I have the option of destroying a room in my dungeon to gain +2, so if I really need to boost something quick, I could. And it doesn't affect my overall total. So I think I'm going to do that. We're going to upgrade that and see what happens. Gorgana just drew the Assassin card during the attack phase. Choose a hero in the opponent's dungeon to give +3 till the end of turn. So we have a bunch of different stuff here. So I think what we are going to do... I need something to be nice to... So, like, now one thing else to keep in mind is Spectre's effect has been used up because it's when I build it. And I can't build over the Neanderthal's cave. And then Dark Altar way down here says, destroy this room, choose 1 card from the discard pile and put it into your hand. So I could either advance that to a different trap room, or I could destroy it to get something else. And actually makes room for me to drop another card. So what do I want to do? I do kind of want to get my Dracula layer out. So it says once per turn you may discard 2 room cards and choose 1 room card from the discard to put in your hand. So that's what we're going to play. We're just going to play this big cleric. And then we're going to call it good. Alright, so players are going to reveal. We got the Crushinator. And we have the Dracula layer. Alright, so now we're going to see who goes where. Mage, looking for some books. He's still going to hang out in town. The Cleric, we have 1, 2 Cleric symbols. We have 1, 2, 3 Cleric symbols. So the Cleric is going to come down here. And then we're going to check the Fighter. Fighter has 1, 2, 3 versus 2. So the Fighter is going to go there. And then, now what I could do is give this... assassinate and give them an extra 1. So I look and they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They don't even have enough to take him out this turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I did not plan that very well, did I? I should not have destroyed that card. But that's what's going to happen, right? So that's why player 2 is like, I'm not even going to bother to destroy it. They can't even do it. They messed up. You know, whatever. So that starts with that. So he's going to start entering that. So before he enters the dungeon, we are going to destroy our Dragon Hatchery with our Crushinator, which would give +2 to any of your rooms have +2. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we'll easily beat him. He'll gain an extra 1 there. And I get to draw 2 more room cards. So that's definitely helpful, because now I got another basic and I got another advanced monster room. So I have some more options with Dracula. So it's probably worth it in the long run. And now the clerics have no problem getting through. It's not going to get through. No problem stopping the cleric. So we have 6. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, he's going to die in that Golem Factory, which lets me draw another room card. That is a really good combo there. It's a good place to put that, right in the middle. And we drew a Liger's Den. Alright. Beginning of the next turn, we have some more magics. We have a Thief, which is a 6 attack. Jesta, the Rogue. And I'm not going to read all their little flavor text. That's something I do in the other videos. And we have another mage. We have Mitchell the Judge. He's a 6. So, now we have another mage sitting out here. So, now, because I had to destroy my hatchery, the mage is going to come down to Gorgana right now. and we're at 5 to 4, the thief is going to actually go to Dracula. So, Dracula's going to want to probably play something to bring the mages to him, if he can stop them. Can he do 6 damage right now? 3, 4, 5, 6. He can do 6, I just need to get at least 2 books out. Problem is, he doesn't have 2 books. Nor does he have anything else to really help him that way. So I can't play my advanced monster room yet. But what we can play is our Spectre Sanctum. We could play this too, our Beast Menagerie. It says, once per turn when you build another monster room, draw a room card. So I think we're going to play that. We're just not going to get anything this turn. I could have played this Sanctum and made the other player discard a card. But if I play that and I can boost up and get some more cards, that'll definitely help me in the long run. Now, I have no room to play any more basic monster cards without playing them on top of something else. So I'm either going to have to boost something or not. So I could boost up my magic by playing the Liger's Den. Once per turn, when you play a spell card, draw a spell card. Now I have 3 spell cards because I built them up. Or once per turn, when your opponent plays a spell card, you may play a spell card to cancel its effect. Well, my opponent doesn't have any, so that's not super helpful. Minotaur's Maze is basically pointless to me. Another Golem Factory is not even bad. But I can't build an advanced card on the Neanderthal Cave. I'd have to put something over it. Or a smaller card. So, really, my options are... but I do have Dracula's Lair. It says, once per turn, you may discard 2 rooms. Choose a room card from the discard pile and put it in my hand. So I can discard 2 cards. So I'm going to discard this All-Seeing Eye and this Minotaur's Maze. And we're going to see what we have in the discard pile. Which, not much has been destroyed, so there's not much. But it would have been stuff maybe discarded from the beginning of the game. Which is why I think you're supposed to discard right away. Just so there's something in there. But you could alternatively just say discard 4 cards off the top of the deck. So I could get this Dragon Hatchery, which would help me bring some stuff in. But it also has 0 attack. Spectre Sanctum, which we've had. The Succubus Spa. Once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, choose an opponent, take a random room or spell from that opponent's hand. Not bad, but pretty weak. And then Witch's Kitchen. Once per turn, you may discard a room monster to draw a spell. If I keep my other one, though, I can draw a spell every time. That's generally better. So, we're actually going to take the Dragon Hatchery. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use it. I don't know what I would want to cover. You know what? I have a plan. So what we're going to do, we're not going to play anything this turn, and we'll see what happens. Because I have the mage coming at me. Both of the mages, which I can defeat without a problem. And I don't have a way of getting the thief. Because they already have 2, and I can only drop the Dragon Hatchery to only get me 1 more. So that doesn't even help me. Alright, so we're just not going to do anything this turn. I have my boost cards if I need to during the attack phase. So I can always do that. Alright, this is what we're going to do then. Alright, so now we're going to reveal. So he's going to reveal his Beast Menagerie. This is once per turn when you build another monster room, draw a room card. So we'll be able to do that. Alright, then we're going to see who's going to come. The mages are going to come downwards. So... first mage, then the thief is going to go here, and then the other mage is going to go here. Unless that had something to do to manipulate that, like that freeze card or something, but I don't. Now Dracula is going to take this out. He has 6 health, and he has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, now here's the thing. I could give him +3, but I'd only give him 9, and it wouldn't be enough to stop him. So that doesn't, it's not worth my time wasting it. So 6, so 4, 5, 6. So he is done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's almost winning. We've got 6 of winning. But Gorgana should come up right afterwards. Alright, so he's going to have a 4 and a 6. So clearly 3, 4. Take out him. And then he is 6. So he's 3, 4, 5, 6. On that Golem Factory again. So I get to draw another card. Ooh. We got a Brain Sucker Hive, and we'll take a look more on that when the turn comes around. So we are up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. No one's taking any damage yet. So I don't know if that's either just because I'm playing cards very well. I think some of it's just because I know what the other person's playing, so I'm not maybe playing as aggressively as I could or should be. We're going to draw a magic card and draw a spell card. Alright, Dracula is going to go. So he needs to play some more rooms. Definitely. Fortunately, you can't get the other two of them out, but you need to play some more. So you have Bulger Ramp. Destroy another room in your dungeon. Deal 5 damage to the hero in this room. Which is kind of helpful if I destroy it with the 1 card. But the thing is, this says, destroy another room until the end of the turn. Your rooms have +2. So gaining +2 every time is better than +5, 1. Because it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Or 2, 4, 6. So we have the Spectre Sanctum. Especially get a random spell card, which might not be a bad idea. So we're going to play that one. And then, Gorgana. Oh, I didn't play my heroes. So we got our last regular hero, which is a fighter. I skipped a step. Who is... dropped him. He's Bolgan the Pantsless. And now we're going to get our first epic hero. Our first epic hero, which will bring this deck over here. So now we can see where this gets a little bit harder. They cost 2, but this is Tempros, the Time Marauder, and he has 11. So I only need 4 to win. So I only need to take out 2 epic heroes to win. But now they have 11. And currently right now, both of them are going to come down to Gorgana. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She can only do 10, so she doesn't play at least one thing to gain that thing. She's going to take that 2 damage from the epic. So although I only need 2 to beat him, I can only take 3 damage from him. So it's up and down, but I have enough other cards to help me out. So does she want to play anything? All my spells are for the attack phase. Once per turn, I may discard 2 rooms to draw a room. So this is what Brain Sucker Hive did. We didn't look at that one. Once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, you may draw a spell card, and it is 2. So I actually think what I want to do... because I need to play a higher... I need to play something higher. I need to almost cover up that trap room. So I can do is discard 2 room cards from my hand. So I think we'll discard the Golem Factory and the Dragon Hatchery. We'll get rid of them. I can gain 1 card from the discard. Oh, I thought there was a... yeah. I thought there was a higher level advanced cleric card, but I was wrong. So I'm going to play the All-Seeing Eye down on my Magic Library, just because it's going to give me more attack power. Alright. Okay, then we see what happens, and we're like, the fighter is going to go down. Oh, wait, we gotta reveal cards first. We have that and that. So, all I just did is, when the opponent plays a spell and they discard a spell to cancel its effect, but the Spectrum's Anthem, when you build this room, choose an opponent discard a spell at random. So now, I have 4 spell cards, but I have to get rid of one of them. One of them will reduce the hero's health, and one will increase the hero's health, and one will increase my traps. The other 2 are kind of whatever. So let's see what we get rid of. We are getting rid of our caving. Ooh, destroy a room in your dungeon and kill a hero. That would have been a free kill. That kind of sucks. Which I just got that one. Alright, so then the heroes are going to move. So we have 2 fighters versus 1, and we have 1 book versus 0. So they're both going to go down here. And I don't believe... we're going to draw a monster card. Ooh, neat. Alright, so Dracula can't do anything to stop this. It's going to be 4, so it's going to be 3, 4. He's going to die there. And then 11. Now can the mage do 11? Temperance the Time Marauder. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he's out. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So next time Gorgana gets something to win, he wins. So Dracula is falling way behind. He really has to do something to try and pull this out. Not sure if he's going to be able to, but we'll find out. Alright, so we do our 2 heroes. We're going to have a mage who has 13 health and it's the magic. Tarek Warhelm, half-elf archmage. And a thief. Also 13. Cecil Leoran, Master of Fractorium. So, Dracula can't deal with 13, can he? 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he can only do 11 unless he plays another room and then uses the Crushinator to destroy it, gaining everyone +2. But right now he's going to get the thief, but he's not going to get the magic one. The magic one's going to go down here. So unless he can somehow stop Gorgana's magic card from playing, there's no way he can win. Because she can take out 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. She can't take it out either, and she has nothing that lets her boost anything immediately. But she has all these spell cards. So what can they do? So we just drew 2 cards with Dracula. One for playing this and then one for my turn. We got the construction zone. You may build this room. You may immediately build an additional room. And then we have the monster prison. Destroy this room. Choose a dead hero in the opponent's score. You may send it back to the entrance of that player's dungeon. And that could maybe mess them up if they played a boost card and they didn't have enough now. Maybe early on that would have been helpful. Now I don't know if it's as much of a thing. If I play another monster, I can gain another room card. If I also play that monster prison, it'll give me that 1 mage, which will bring the mage over there, which will give me 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So not enough to take out those cards. But even if I take a couple of damage from them, that might be better than just letting the other player win. So that's what we're going to try to do, is play that card. And then what can Gorgana do? So they're basically like, I got the mage card, and I need to get that thief, but I only need to get one of the 2. But they have absolutely no way of playing extra. They only have 2 room cards right now, which are both advanced, or one regular, one advanced, and neither of them are better than what I could play. So that doesn't help me there. I could discard both of my room cards to beef up or draw a card. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So not even enough to take him out, even if I do have it. But what we can do here is Dark Altar. Destroy this room, choose one card from the discard pile, and put it in your hand. So we're going to destroy that. We're going to shift all of our monsters down, our rooms down. We can draw one card and put it into my hand. I have that caving, which we just drew. Which now my opponent knows I have that, so they basically know I've won the game. Ooh, I also drew my magic card with Zombie Attack. Choose a dead hero from an opponent's scorekeeper and send it back to the entrance and give it +2. So, like, if I knew my opponent was going to potentially win or had a boost, I could definitely send one of their heroes back or give them more damage. So I can still play a card. So if I want to guarantee I get that card, we will play this one. Alright, then we're going to flip over, see what happens. We played a monster room, so I get to draw a new card. So we got another Brain Sucker Hive. We're going to flip this over. It says once per turn if a hero dies. And then now we're going to sort these out. So we check the mage first. We have one mage, and now we have 3. He's like, oh crap, I pulled an extra mage out. But he's also hoping he doesn't win. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Exactly enough. And then the thief is going to still come to this one. So Dracula is going to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he's going to destroy another room in my dungeon with the crushing arrow. He's going to destroy the zombie prison. Now that he's tried to entice that guy over, it gives all my rooms +2, which is enough to defeat him. Plus I get to draw 2 more room cards just to see what we get. We got another Dark Altar and a monstrous monument trap. When you build this room, choose one monster from the discard and put it in your hand. That would have been nice. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Enough to beat him. Gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 2 points away from winning. But here's what's basically going to happen is, now I could have played this and given him 2 more or 3 more health and definitely stopped him from playing that. I could have done the Cobalt Strike, prevented him from even playing another room. I could always now turn, like my next turn if I had one, I could send that card back knowing that he can't destroy another card and potentially have that much. What I can do on my turn, I can play Annihilator, gaining one of my trap rooms here, an extra 3, and I can also destroy a room in my dungeon to kill any hero. So I can basically let him enter this, destroy this, defeating him, and then it didn't matter. Otherwise, I would have had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But this would give me 13, 14, 15. I would have had enough either way to beat him. That's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have a game. Gorgana won. Yeah, so that was fun, interesting. That was Boss Monster. Yeah, I will check out this video. Hope you guys liked it, enjoyed it, got the concept of it. Again, me playing against myself. It's kind of hard to not like, oh, I know he has that, I know he has this. But at least you got the idea of how the game is played. Later sets do add other things. I don't have them. I have the expansions that are coming, which, you know, my newer sets that I don't have yet, but they add things to boost up the heroes, add items and artifacts. And then the Crash Landing set adds the new ray gun class type. And some of the rooms like that, the green ones. And then there's other little expansions. Boss monster, there's mini bosses coming as well, which add another mechanic to the game, which again, I hope to definitely review when I get the game, and if people enjoy this and enjoy those videos, I will, replay one with some of the new features. And if for some reason I haven't actually went through and showed off all this set yet, I will get them up hopefully by the end of the weekend. See you guys later. Bye.